Hi, this is day 6 of my perfectly imperfect, beautiful life. And I wanted to just come on today. I had posted that the intention was honoring our truths. And one of the truths that I wanted to honor today was my battle with depression. And this came up for me after hearing the young mother pleading about her son who was fighting depression and who actually committed suicide, or it's assumed that he committed suicide on the train tracks. And so I wanted to talk about depression because it is my feeling that there is an assumed face for depression. And the assumed face to me is that you look dark, like as emotionally, that you look sad all the time, that you are unkept physically, that your car may be unkept, that your home might be unkept. Maybe you are living paycheck to paycheck. And depression can look like that, but depression can also look like someone who has it, or it's assumed that they have it completely together. Depression looks like me. And so for years, I have battled depression. And the only way that I was able to and still overcoming was and is to deal with my unresolved pain, which there was much of it, and I thought that I'm not even sure what it was that I thought, but once I made a choice to deal with unresolved pain and pulling back the layers, was my way of overcoming depression. And for me, the best way for me to describe what it was that I felt was I would often feel like I was on a treadmill in the park when it was dark, like moving but going nowhere. And I would have family and friends who would say like, "Gosh, you made so many accomplishments. You have degrees. You've done more than I've ever done. I don't understand why you're sad." I didn't even understand why I was sad. And speaking of my accomplishments, I didn't even view them that way. They didn't help with my depression. Let me just say that. They were just accomplishments, but they did not help me fight my own personal internal battles. They probably masked the internal battles, to be honest with you. And so I would often feel even put together, like that I had chains on my ankles, that I had bricks on my ankles, where like I was carrying a backpack full of bricks. And so it just felt heavy all the time. And the only thing that I could do was lay down in the bed. And I would wake up in the morning, go to work, which was the thing that kind of helped me get through. Wake up, go to work, and then think about my bed all day. Like I literally couldn't wait for my bed and for food. There were times where my husband would try to talk to me through it, but he doesn't suffer with depression, so he couldn't understand what it was that I was feeling. I don't care how hard he loved on me. When I did not make the choice to heal in that moment, I blocked everything out that he was saying. But he didn't give up. And I didn't shout at him. I didn't do anything crazy. It was just what I was feeling inside. And so one day I did just make a decision to get up. And for me, that looked like a lot of different levels, or there was a whole lot of different levels to that. It was going to see a professional. It was getting a life coach. It was changing my diet, because I will tell you that there's times that I eat certain foods that make me feel depressed, but that can be a whole nother discussion. I made a choice to share with family and friends what it was that I was feeling. But see, that there's a thing to that too, because a lot of times, or many times, especially in the Black community, we can tell people just to pray about it. How about praying for them? How about wishing them love and light? Because when you are depressed, praying for yourself is something that you're not thinking about. And I made a very conscious effort to start doing something about it. Um, it was exercising. Um, some days it was getting up and taking a shower was like the biggest accomplishment that I could make for that day. And I was excited about it. Not to say I wasn't taking showers on a daily basis, but if I was laying in the bed all day, to get up was a thing that made me feel refreshed. And um, I had a really an organic relationship that actually happened during the time that I was depressed, that really helped to save me during that time. And it was this lady by the name of Rosalind Womack. And we became friends. We became allies in our depression. And I guess that's not a way that you want to make a friend with a person, but she was a lady who made my wedding gown for me. And so I'm going to post a picture of her later because I want to show that depression has many different faces. And for women that even look put together, this is what depression can look like. And both of us, I guess, were kind of masking our pain at the time, just to try to get by. But I don't know how it happened and how the discussion came up that we both were struggling with it. But we started like organically reaching out to one another just to say, hey, just checking on you. She would do the same. And I don't care if it was midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning, any like sporadic times throughout the day, just to check on one another. And sometimes we would reward each other for accomplishments such as getting up to cook, getting up, putting on cute clothes, getting up, putting on makeup, getting up, going to the park or the grocery store that day. We rewarded one another for that. And again, like I said, and I have really, really good friends and a really, really great circle. But when you feel like somebody has not experienced that, it's hard to assume that they understand where it is that you're coming from. And so I will be honest with you, I was a little bit afraid to even share this because, again, as a professor, as someone who has dedicated my life to helping people, as a healer, as a spiritual intuitive, as a life coach, these are things sometimes that you don't necessarily want to share because you don't want to shun people away from coming to you for assistance. We may look at doctors and lawyers and even ministers in this type setting, like we put these people on a platform, and then when they make mistakes and faults happen, we're shocked by it because they're actually human. And so, to be honest with you, these are the people that appeal to me most. Like, that is the person. If I go to a therapist, right? If I go to a therapist and I know that therapist has struggled with depression and overcome, I am more inclined to listen to that person because I know that they feel me, or they can kind of feel me at least, because they've somewhat experienced the same thing that I experienced. And so I just wanted to come on and share that truth, that if you are someone who suffers with it, of course, to get professional help, but to also know that you're not alone. I wanted to put it on there too because I'm a face that might look like you. And maybe you've kind of looked around and you tried to get help, but you saw no one that looked like you. Well, it looks like me too. So if in this moment I can save a life, then I'm hoping that this is what did it for you. Because for years I was searching for somebody who looked like me. And I hate to say that, but that's what was happening. I was like, well, this person don't look like me. This person doesn't look like me. I don't feel like they've experienced the same thing. And then I finally found it. But it did take a while. And maybe it took a while because I was finally open and I made the choice to want to heal. So that might have been the other part of the dilemma, was simply just making the choice that I'm going to heal, that I'm going to be happy, that I'm going to have joy, and then actually walking in it. So yesterday I was talking about all these rituals that I do for my daily devotion. A part of that is a part of my healing. It's the things that keep me balanced. It's the things that keep my vibrations high. That's really important for me. So hopefully you find the thing that helps you, and you find a circle that supports you to get through. All right. Day 6, I look forward to seeing you on day 7. Have a great day. Bye.